Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast with Jay Gordon Duncan. And if you're wondering why the J, the answer is I'm not a bagpipe player. And if that joke doesn't make any sense, I encourage you to check out episode 0, where I explain that joke, as well as the purpose of the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast, where we talk about faith, family, fitness, finances, and sometimes fun. Hello, friends. Great to see you again. You may or may not notice, but I have lost a good bit of my voice, but I'm going to do the show no matter what. Last night I went to my buddy Pete Evick's New Year's show. Pete is a good friend. He is the owner of Shining Soul Candle Company, up in Manassas. And he's also a rock star. He is the guitar player and band leader for Bret Michaels of Poison. And he also has a wonderful band called Evick. And every year in Manassas, he has a hometown show up at the Salisbury Center, and he gets all his friends together, and there's multiple bands, and there's all stars and that kind of thing. And so that was last night. So I was up there with a bunch of friends, and I just lost my voice because I went to a concert and had an absolute blast. And that's what this year's about. It's about having some fun, doing things that make me feel alive, both personally and business wise. So really glad to do it. And you know what, guys? I'm also very thankful for you. Last week I did my What's In, What's Out for 2025. I got some great feedback on it. Thank you so much. But this week, I'm just going to get right to it, guys. Again, thank you for always watching and listening to reviews and the likes and the comments. Thank you. But I want to talk about a fundamental thing that I committed to probably back in 2017, 2018, that made a major difference in my personal life and a monstrous difference in my professional life. Guys, remember, I was a full-time pastor up until 2020, and Capitalized was something I was doing and it was growing, but it wasn't a full-time job. And I was very fortunate that when I retired from ministry and we went full time with Capitalize, within a year, we were a six-figure business. And since then, we've grown. And this element right here, this thing is what has made a difference for me. And that thing is a commitment to daily, but specifically weekly training. Here's what I mean by that. I want you to read and get better every single day. If you get 1% better every single day, you're going to achieve all your goals. You're going to separate yourself from the competition. So do that. But weekly training in this sense, weekly committed training with a coach or a mentor or a leader, something weekly where you have to show up and you have to be present. So this started for me in 2017, 2018, really with the podcast boom. And I discovered Tim Ferris's a podcast. Tim Ferriss is amazing, the 4 Hour Work Week. But the one that really got me going was Lewis Howes' School of Greatness. Now, I've talked about Lewis here before. His book, The School of Greatness, his podcast made a huge impact on me. I got a chance to meet him. I believe it was 2018 in Las Vegas. Really great guy. But I started listening to his podcast, and he did a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday podcast. But it was that weekly Monday podcast was always the one that made the big commitment to me. And Mondays to this day Mondays are still my big podcast day. I listen to podcasts all week long, but Mondays I know is, and that's part of the reason why this podcast comes out on Mondays. I'm always like, I know I'm like, hey, I'm ready for what, the people who teach me are going to teach me on Mondays. And then soon after I started this show. And we were at one point in time where Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're now Mondays, and that's when we debut for the Capitalize Your Best group. They get it Sunday, but for the public, it comes out on Mondays. But I committed to weekly learning. Now, I'm going to read and get better every single day. But with that weekly learning, I had to show up. Then I began investing in coaching. And I did Grant Cardone U. I did the One Funnel Away Challenge. I did various programs. I did the John Maxwell program. And then I went through those coaching programs. But then I stumbled onto something that really made a difference. It was multiple things at the same time. First, I committed to a coaching program, the one that helped me organize Capitalize Your Best. And that program doesn't exist anymore. The partners who they were part of, they broke up. And it's such a good group of guys. And they were like, hey, we meet every Thursday at 10 a.m. And we do a coaching call every Thursday at 10 a.m. So I was okay. So I committed to that because I paid into this program. So every Thursday, 10 a.m., I was on Zoom, whether I was in the car or whether I was in my office for an hour of coaching. And it was group, but I participated, and it was a specific coaching, teaching time. Well, then soon after that, I began to partner with a guy named Tom Blubaugh with a faith-based writers group, and they met at 11 o'clock on Thursdays. So I was doing 10 a.m. with the coaching program, and then I was a part of the 11 a.m. And so Tom would lead, and then eventually I began leading that, and I took that over. And so then there was a season there where I was like, okay, Thursdays at 10, I'm doing my coaching, and then at 11 a.m. on Thursdays, I'm leading. Well, the program that I was a part of, like I said, I was part of it for a year and a half, and that ended. And then in 2024, I signed up for a sales coaching program that met at Thursday at 10 a.m. And so same kind of thing. I committed, like, I'm going to be there every single week. And that commitment to weekly coaching transformed my business. Did I get something every single week? Maybe not a strategy, but I was around people that were succeeding, like-minded individuals, people who made not only a time commitment, but a financial commitment to get better. And, I knew that there was like a weekly accountability. I knew that I was going to get resources. Like, it began to transform who I am. And I began doing this in the paid coaching back in 2021. And my business skyrocketed. It just did. I was learning skills, and I was around people, and I was in a community that just took off. So simultaneously on the back end, I started the Capitalize Your Best Facebook group. That's the public group that anyone can be a part of. And then I began the Capitalize Your Best Elite group. Now, the Elite group is a private group just for my clients. And I started doing seminars through the Capitalize Your Best group. And on my Elite group, I do a seminar at the end of every month. And it's just for them. That's very personal. Tell what's going on. Let's work through what's going on for them. But I just kept thinking, I was like, I really want to grow the impact of Capitalize Your Best. And I want to give it access to more people. And I kept thinking, do I want to do a weekly coaching call like these guys? And the faith-based group shut down. So all of a sudden, towards the end of 2024, I was not doing a coaching call at that 10 or 11 o'clock time on Thursdays anymore. In my personal schedule, I do a networking group on Thursday morning, but that's to grow the business, encourage it. It's not a coaching teaching time. And I began to think, could I pull this off? And again, when you think about it, you're like, wow, that's a big commitment every week. But then I think, wait a minute, I can do something 48 to 52 times a year, giving myself maybe one or two to miss and have a sub. I'm like, why can't I commit to doing something 52 times a year? What's the big deal? It's 52 times. It's a big year. It's 365 days. It's a big year. And then I kept thinking about how do I grow the impact? Like this year, I want to impact 1,000 businesses in 2025. How am I going to do that? And I thought it's time to start back the coaching calls. But then now it's going to be my coaching call. My coaching call. Those coaches that I was a part of, theirs continue in some form or the other at 10 a.m. And my networking group goes from 9 to 10. I didn't think I could just immediately leave a networking group and start my coaching calls at 10, and I didn't want to interfere with what they're doing. So this week I announced Capitalized coaching calls. And every Thursday at 11 a.m., I'm going to do a coaching call. Now, this is an exclusive benefit for my clients, but I'm going to invite people to come in and experience what we're doing as clients. Like the Capitalize Your Best Elite group is amazing. They're growing, their businesses, they're committed group people, they do the work, they deserve all their success. So this is for them, but I'm going to invite you guys to come and visit to see what's happening in our community. and let that have its impact on you so you can grow your businesses as well. So what will happen is we're going to get together 11 o'clock every single Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern time. There'll be a little bit of a check-in time with everybody, and then I'm going to do about a 20 to 25 minute coaching session every single Thursday. This is not off the top of my head. It is a prepared coaching call. And then we're going to do feedback and interaction with it, and take questions. That way, I'm able to serve and to give benefit to my clients, invite you guys in to get a sense of what it's like to actually be a part of a marketing business coaching program. And then so you guys are going to be invited. I'm going to record all of this every single week. Sometimes it's going to be an exclusive that I can give out, and then sometimes I'll make it public. I wouldn't be surprised if some of those coaching calls showed up here on Capitalize Your Best. Excuse me, the This Is Going to Hurt podcast. But I know that my goal in 2025 is to impact 1,000 businesses. And the only way to do that is to expand my impact. And how can I do that? I was like, well, grow my platform. How do I do that? Then I go to weekly coaching calls. This will not stop any of the other seminars I've got going on. And in fact, when I have a seminar that might conflict, I'm just going to simulcast that seminar to this group, and that's the plan. So here's how you can interact with us. The registration pages are not even live yet. I'm not even worried about it. I just going ahead, and this is one of those things where you just take an action and you don't wait. Because if I was like, oh, I want to get the registration pages up and I want to get everything looking right, then I'm going to wind up waiting another week. I'm not. This Thursday we launch. Every Thursday going forward. The registration pages will eventually be up and going. I'm not going to wait for them. I'm going to do this. So we are launching Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern time. We are going to have the Capitalized coaching call every single week. It's going to be business and marketing coaching. And I'm going to do about 20 to 25 minutes every single week. Then we're going to take questions and Q&As and interact. And my goal is to impact 1,000 businesses in 2025. And I want to impact yours. So if you're like, well, Gordon, the registration page is not live yet. How do I participate? No problem. All you have to do is just reach out to me. And I will make sure that when we go live on Thursday, that you have access to the call. That's all you got to do. So the registration pages will be available eventually. Right now, if you're interested, you just got to reach out to me. You can find me everywhere. You can find me on Facebook, Gordon Duncan. You can find the Capitalized Marketing pages on Facebook. I've got multiple pages on Instagram. There's my personal Gordon Duncan. There's the Capitalized Marketing. You can get me there. You can find me at Gordon Duncan on LinkedIn. You can find me at Gordon Duncan on X. You can find me on TikTok, whatever the case may be. Just reach out to me. You can text me, message me, email me, call me, all those things. Let's do that so that you can have your business transformed. And I'm telling you, when you make that commitment to weekly coaching, it's going to transform you. It did for me. It's done for everybody I've seen who does the work. You do the work, you get the transformation. Don't get the transformation if you don't do the work. So I invite you every Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern time, to Capitalize coaching calls. It's going to be rock solid. 20 to 25 minutes of marketing business coaching, and then we're going to have Q&As and interaction with each other. Sometimes I'll go more, sometimes I'll go less. Cannot wait. But guys, it's going to make a big difference in the lives of a lot of businesses. It's going to transform the way I do things, and it's going to give me a chance to help you. These things are absolutely free. They're no cost, and I want you there. So guys, reach out to me if you're interested. I can't wait to see you, and we're going to see some amazing things happen in 2025. And to all my Capitalize Your Best elite clients, you know we're going to cook this year, right? We're cooking. Guys, thanks so much for being here. I can't wait to talk to you again next week. I've got some interviews lined up. I really do. And you will see those very soon. And we'll talk soon. See you next week. Thanks so much.